forgot to schedule the thing. Good morning. Can you hear me? The voice fine? Everything good? Perfecto. What are you watching? Drag Queenless. What is that show, Christy?
About drag queens.
It's about drag queens. And what do they do?
They entertain.
They entertain. Morning, guys. How's everyone doing? Alright, so I did manage to get my videos back. Happy news for you guys. So if you missed last week's lesson, still is back there. I had like 3 videos deleted, but we're back. Alright, so today we're up for side control counters, I believe. Side control escapes. So not too much attacking today, just getting out of bad situations. Let me just get my tools up. Alright. Morning, Vava. So here we go. Let's get started. So here's the main thing that we're gonna look at. The side control chain. And the first thing you probably want to learn is the names of the positions, especially if you're a beginner. And here's the side control lingo, I call it. We have regular side control, cross chest, reverse cross chest, and smart knee. Those are, I think, the most important names you want to remember, especially when your coach is coaching you, or it's easier to remember the stuff if you know the names of each of these positions. I believe sometimes cross chest is called modified, so that can be confusing, but I usually just say cross chest or reverse cross chest. Alright, if you don't know them now, hopefully by the end of the lesson you will, but let's get on with it. So we just got caught in side control. That means the partner already passed your guard. We want to be limited to how much strength and how much like explosiveness we use. So the first tip I'll give you is to get your frames in place before the person settles in. Right, so that usually means just about 1 second in before they get the side control, you're just gonna put that arm as a frame there and the other one by the hip. Okay, that will save you half of the time if you can get it in the right spot. Okay, but it's not gonna save you 100% of the time. So they will still get side control, and this is your standard escape most of the time, which is just your shrimp. You bring your bottom knee in and you start replacing guard. So that's our regular frame escape. Use it anytime you can, but I'll show you some other options if you do get stuck. Now the biggest issue with this escape is our leg getting caught there. Right, so if Gerstine just pinches and brings her knees towards my hips, I'll get that leg stuck, and it's quite hard to recover from there. So this is what I mean when your leg gets stuck. So you do a good shrimp escape, and then that leg's just not coming out, and you're stuck here. And usually they just push your knee and then they pass again. Very common. So to deal with this, you got to look at one main thing that stops you. So right about here, her arm is the biggest thing that stops you from pulling the guard. If she draws her elbows towards her knee here, then she can pinch everything and then my leg will get stuck, right? If she was hugging my head, then I could easily pull guard. So this is your biggest enemy. This is where we take sort of an overhook as we're shrimping. Back to this. So I do my shrimp escape. Boom, my leg is stuck. Notice how my arm is gonna roll her over to the other side. Almost like you're going for a telephone armbar. And then you get your close guard back, right? I should have stressed this out by pulling this arm all the way to my head and all the way over to the other side. But I was just doing it lazily there. But usually you want to threaten that arm so that the person forgets about your leg, and then you'll be able to pull guard more effectively. Alright, so that's our regular frame escape. Everyone should know this. As a beginner, this is like your fundamental escape. And then now we need to go through the options where we can't get the frame escape. The person's settled in, and we're left with only a couple of other options, right? So this is our regular side control for now, okay? So just remember that. The person's got an underhook and a crossface, and they're on their knees. So we have two types of underhooks that we can get. I'm gonna call this one the far side underhook, and this one the near side underhook. Right now we're focusing on the far side one. So your underhook escapes relies on you being able to get a frame as well, right? So the time I'd go for this is if my frame escape isn't working, I'll switch it up to an underhook. So I get my frame in, and now I'm going to do a little bump so I can circle my wrist towards her chest over there, and that will become an underhook. So watch how I do it. A little bump, my hand makes enough space for my hand to get in, and then I can slide it through and it becomes an underhook. Now there's lots of transitions Christine can make here, so you do have to be careful. You can't just rely on being able to get up like I'm doing right here, because in the real world this is going to be difficult to do. But I'll give you some options of what to do. But just remember, your frame doesn't work, shoot in for an underhook instead. Right? And from here you've got lots of chain. You don't have necessarily to get up like I did. Most of the time the person on top is going to do a top spin, which is going to run around to north-south. So you will have to deal with that as well. But for now, this is our underhook escape. And the most important thing here is just that little bump to get the underhook, okay? So do a little bump just to get enough space between you two so that hand can shoot through. And then you're good to go. And then you don't have to necessarily do this counter, but you have the underhook, and that's good enough. So that's our underhook escape. So this is the main difference between the far side underhook and the near side underhook. With the other underhook, the counter becomes a backdoor, we call it. Okay, this is really common escape. So now focus on this arm. This is doing all the work now. So I haven't been able to get my frame or my underhook, so instead I'm going to use the other arm instead. I'm going to shoot it through. And that becomes a far side underhook, we call it. And now, there's lots of little ways to get out of this, but all you want to do is just wiggle yourself out by throwing the person's weight forward while you're going in the opposite direction underneath. So you're just going to look like this. And that's our backdoor escape, alright? It's a good little technique to get out of trouble. And it can end you up with turtle just like this, which you can go to your attack chains. There's like Bravo setups. There's lots of submissions that you can do from there. But it's kind of a bulletproof technique. If it doesn't work, you're not in a worse spot. You're actually like north-south. So even if it doesn't work, you're slightly in a better position than regular side control. Okay, so that's what we call backdoors. And it's really good in no-gi especially, okay? Because you got a little bit more wiggle room. So up until here, we're just dealing with the side control position. So we haven't touched on any of these, okay? So all of these escapes are going to be from a regular side control. It's very important to know, because depending on what position they're in, we have different counters. But for now, we're just focusing on side control. So to recap just this a little bit, it's frame escape. If your leg gets stuck, remember to get that underhook to stress the arm. And then we have our backdoor option as well, and our underhooks. Now cross chest. Forgot to film this, so focus on Steve now. He's going to be doing the moves. So cross chest is this position here, okay? Where your partner on top switches his base. So everyone being in this, sometimes they call it judo scarf hold as well. They're both similar names. But the biggest problem with this technique you're going to deal with as the person on the bottom is pulling guard. It's really hard to pull guard from here because their ribs are in the way and that leg can't get through this little gap. So this is probably the move you're going to get most as like a beginner sort of level, because everyone goes to this position quite often to avoid guard pulls. So this is what I'm calling cross chest. So when the person's, and I call it cross chest just because we make an X over here, just make it easier to remember. So your biggest fight when you realize someone's got you in cross chest is this battle of elbow control here. If I have the elbow, the guy on top is normally winning. Okay, it'd be really hard for you to escape. As long as I can get this elbow to the mat, that means the person on the bottom is usually in a better position. So that's what Steve's gonna do now. So watch this. Elbow goes to the mat there, and he just does it by yanking his arm to the mat. There's no rocket science there. Now your elbow's on the mat, you can walk your hips and you can bump the person forward, and that's gonna force them to go into their knees. Otherwise they would just like face plant onto the mat. So they have to bounce back to their knees like this. See? So now that you bounce back, there's loads of room here for you to pull guard again. So now it's back to our regular shrimp escape. This is a lifesaver right here. If you don't know this technique, you're going to struggle a lot in this cross chest position. You're going to let people control your elbow. They're going to start looking for submissions on this arm. There's whole lot of trouble here. So if you see someone switching their base, pull your elbow to the mat, make a little frame on their hip there, and then a big bump forward. That's going to make them base, and then you can pull guard. So that's our regular little cross chest escape. Okay, there's going to be a few more options now, but everyone understand this first little slice. As long as you guys are good, we'll move on. Now the next one is the person's got their elbow controlled again, right? And you can do a couple of things to kind of mess with the person on top's base, right? The person on top always wants to be going in that direction, okay, to put pressure. So what you want to do is walk the other direction, counterclockwise. And if the person doesn't follow you, this happens, okay? So Steve's walking away from me right now. That means that my legs are over here towards his legs and I have no base on that direction there. So any little push will sweep me. But this only works if the person doesn't follow you. So if someone knows this counter, they'll just follow you as you go around. Okay? So you try this. If the person's following you back there, don't bother with this technique. But if they stay in the exact same place, which a lot of beginners do because they think this is the chest to chest, loads of rib pressure, get a frame in and just push. And you'll be surprised how often you can get this. It's quite easy to get. Next up is probably one of the best escapes if you got decent flexibility. I think anyone can do this, but the more flexible you are, the better anyway. Which is the leg scissors now. Okay, this is probably my favorite one if I can get it. But it's gonna be a combination of the last move where we walk away, followed by us throwing this leg over the head. So we're gonna do 2 little shrimps and then throw that leg over the top. And then this is just a little Bravo setup, but basically you can do head scissors, which is a choke, you can do a Bravo, or you can just get up to get on top. But it's a really good escape, and if things go wrong, like nothing bad's gonna happen. But in terms of moves, I would actually go for this one first, which is the leg throwing over the head. This one. If that doesn't work, I'll usually do the bump. But the leg scissors is a lifesaver. But again, only from cross chest. Okay, don't do this from any other position. That's the only little like control point that you can do it. The last one, which is not really escape, but it's a common attack from the person on top. They try to Americana your arm when you frame. So watch this. Steven's gonna frame. I'm gonna try to Americana him. Instantly push that elbow away. Push and try to get up to shrimp. This is probably the submission you're gonna get caught with the most as like a white or blue belt. Because especially against bigger guys, they love this Americana setup. They wait for you to frame and then they push that wrist. So anytime they have your wrist, just push the elbow away. It's quite an easy counter. All you have to do is time it. Obviously, if the person's got their elbow to the mat and yanking on your arm, it's too late. But you can see you've got quite some time to pull this off. And that's all of our cross chest counters. There are a few more, but these are the fundamentals one that you're gonna learn. So just to recap, remember the most important thing. I'm gonna ask you guys later, so remember this. This position here is called cross chest. Okay, all of these counters only work for cross chest. We're not gonna do this when people are on their knees or facing away from us. This is only from here. So I'll just play them. So you have the bump and shoot, which is just the regular shrimp escape. We have the walking away and then just come up. The leg swing over the head. And our Americana kind of danger position. Just be careful with that. Push the elbow away. Cool. Everyone happy with the cross chest? Any questions? Fire them away now before I move on. Let me know. There is other positions that we're gonna move on to, but for now that's just the cross chest slice. Okay, so these, just to recap, we've done side control and cross chest so fast. Reverse cross chest now, okay, which is the one we're going on to. Slightly more complicated position. So reverse cross chest, and on Friday we're gonna do the control of side control. So we're gonna learn a little bit more, okay? But reverse cross chest is this position here, and the time people go for it is when people frame your neck like this. This is the escape already, but let's just go to, this is reverse cross chest. So you see how I brought my arm over to the other side, and usually sometimes they'll just like sit on their hip over here, but this time they're not. But this is reverse cross chest position. So very different from regular side control, and very different from cross chest. So the first little escape is one, yeah. The first little escape is like a preempting escape, basically, right? The guy's gonna move, you're gonna move with him. If he doesn't move, then you're gonna go back to the same escapes that we did. So focus on the arms now. These all the escapes gonna be on the arms related. So Steven's got a frame on my neck. I, as the person on top, don't like it. So I'm gonna bring this arm over the top. Okay? And Steve's just gonna follow it. So watch his arms. Boom. And he's gonna start pushing the elbow away. And we call that stiff arm in Jiu-Jitsu. We use it a lot to stop passing and as an escape. But as the guy transitions, you're just gonna push the elbow away. There's the transition, push, and get up. Nothing too complicated there. All you have to do is be able to push the elbow as it's transitioning. Okay. Next up, it's high-low guard, okay? Which is this position here. He hasn't been able to use his arm to push this time. So instead, he's just going to keep his elbows close to his chest and make like little frames. So all my weight on top is in his forearms right now. And he's going to bump and he's going to throw me over his head. Yes. And that's going to get the weight off of him, which now he can start inverting, he can start pulling guard and setting up his positions. The main difference between this technique and the other one is we've missed the elbow push. So we're here, that's the elbow push. This time we're going to miss it. When we miss, we just stay in the position with our elbows closed. And we're going to bump up and replace guard. Lastly, the single leg half guard option. Which comes from, these are working in chains, right? So one technique doesn't work, we move on to the other one, then the third one. So right now we're in the stage where we could have bumped him over the top. But for some reason, we can't. We're going to swim for an underhook instead. And we're going to pick up the ankle so we can do our half guard chain that we learned from the like a few lessons ago. Where we pull the foot and we go to knee twist and then we can come up for singles or just stay there. But this is quite a good one. And the main reason is a lot of people are going to run to north-south. And this is also your north-south counter, which is a single. Grab the foot, pull that up, and then get up. Don't have to get up, that's just optional. The last danger zone from this sort of cross-chest scenario are kimuras. So you're going to go for an underhook. They're going to do a top spin, which is that move. And they're going to try to either get a harness to go for your back or kimura to go for a kimura. Anytime this happens and the person is spinned over, you're at slightly danger. You're just going to suck your elbow back into position. Like this. And you might end up with a guard pull or you might end up with side control on the other side, which is a bit sad. Because you went through all of that chain and you went back to the same position. But it will save you from getting kimura'd or your back take. Yeah, so the top spin is a drill that people do on top a lot of times. And this is the counter to that. So, just to recap these. Elbow push is our first technique, if you're quick enough. If you miss the elbow push, keep your elbows close, bump, and recover. If that's not working or the guy's too heavy, go for a single instead and pick up the ankle. And if the person does the top spin as you're doing this and you're caught in a harness or kimura, even before they settle, you should be coming back to the other side. And then you can replace. Alright, everyone happy with the reverse cross chest chain, which is our little slice over here. Whoops, this is wrong. This should be knee on belly. Perfect. The last little side control escapes, they're not really side control escapes. These are the only real side control positions someone can get you on. There is an octopus one, but it's usually like pretty bad, so not a lot of people use it. But knee on belly is our last. These are just like little special scenarios that we have to deal with as well. One of them is knee on belly. Okay. There's lots of ways to get out of knee on belly. Obviously, you can just shrimp, but I'd say the safest way to get out of this is by stuffing the foot. Okay, which not a lot of people know. Usually, people just try to push the elbow, push the knee, etc. I'd like the approach of just pushing the foot in between your legs. And that's because I'm a half guard player, right? I know how to play half guard, so I don't mind it. So here, I'm just going to use a bump to stuff the knee. And then if you're here for the half guard lesson, you should know all of this. I get my underhook, and I can go for my knee twist chain, any knee twist that you want. So it's really simple, and it's a lot less effort than trying to push the knee out of you. So just use the foot there, stuff in between, and they'll be in half guard. And then you can get your underhook, and then you can start your underhook chain. This is a lifesaver for me. I'd choose this over the shrimp 100 times over. I think it's way more effective at any belt. Alright, so that's dealing with the knee on belly. I just gave you this one because literally the only one I use. I never use anything else. And it's worked so far. Jailbreak is our last little option. Only flexible people can do this, I'm afraid. That's why I got Kirstine to demonstrate. I can't do it. My knee's really bad. But this is an Eddie Bravo move, 10th planet stuff. But it's similar to the back door, right? Where we stick our arm through. But instead, let's just watch here. Kirstine is going to grab her own foot, and she's going to put it in as a butterfly hook. And you'll be surprised how good this is. And then she can use the butterfly to like push them away. And you can set up so many leg locks from here as well. So if you can get that butterfly hook, you can stretch them away. You can start doing your butterfly chain. You can attack this arm. You can go for guillotines. There's some beautiful technique. Little Jack, purple belt Jack, forgot his name, from 10th Planet showed me this. But he gets this on me all the time. I just can't stop it. Grab this foot, boom, push, and then shrimp. So credit goes to Jack for this one. He's the guy that showed me this. Boom. Okay, this is any ladies out there. I think this should be your #1 side control escape. And flexible dudes as well. Honestly, it's one of the hardest positions I ever dealt with, because any transition that you go through on top, the person still has an escape. So it's quite hard to deal with. I can only stop this if I know, if I can go to smart knee on the belly or something. But as long as they get their foot in, that is a pretty much guaranteed escape. Okay. Yeah, the knee on belly escapes are very efficient. Yeah. This is stuffing the foot. If you want to be ultimately energy efficient, right? This is the chain to follow. Only go for underhooks. That's the one that takes the least amount of effort. And that goes for every single position. So this one, for example, where you just pick up the ankle and you get them into half guard. All of the half guard ones, they're like, it takes little effort. So that's why I like them so much. Same for this one. You just stuff the foot and you take quarter guard, which is here, and then you're all set. And same for the side controls and that kind of stuff. But like I said, right, if I pull this up, let me just grab something so you guys can understand. There's like a little strategy before for these escapes that I kind of tend to follow. What am I looking for? Half guard. So this is our half guard lesson plan, right? So the reason why I follow most of the chains to quarter guard, which is this position here. So like for this one, I go to here, I get my underhook and I go here, which looks like a bad position. But if we know our half guard chain, right, that we learn, we know that we have knee twists, which is quarter guard, which is this position here. And we know that we can do all of these sweeps available here. So we've got this here, which is the Lucas Leach sweep. So that's quarter guard. I can shrimp and I can get on top. And we've got all of this chain that we learned. Okay, we can go to deep half, wader, reverse half guard, and open guard. So the regular frame escapes, right? You frame escape and you end up in like closed guard. The bumps, you end up in like half guard. The back door is the only exception because you end up almost on the back. So I'd always prioritize positions that get me into an attacking scenario. So that's, for example, back door here. We go into a strong position, right? Same with the knee twists, right? So if I go and stuff a foot and I get my underhook, I'm in attacking scenario now. I can go to my twists and I can do my sweeps from there. So if you can always recover half guard and go into a really nice attacking scenario afterwards if you know where you're going. Same with the jailbreak. You're here, person feels safe, you get your butterfly hook in, you stretch them out, and then you can start going for arm attacks, neck attacks, leg locks, and etc. So that's taking your half guard game to the next level there. But quiz time, let's go. Delete the title so you see if anyone learned anything today. Let's see. Now, what I want from most people is to remember their names of each position. That's more important than anything. Because if you know, because it's going to help you out on top as well when we do the top lesson. If you know what each position is, then you know the escapes. Alright. So, if my partner gets me, oh, this one doesn't count. It has like the escapes. How am I gonna do this? Right, we'll do this differently. I can't crop this. Oh, I know. I will zoom in. Let me get my zoom too. There we go. Oh, that's too zoomed. Actually, I think the names are a bit different. Let's go to these ones first. So what's our first escape we should try? I know. Text, the text at the bottom. This one. Oh yeah, I don't know how to cover that text there, so I'm gonna like try to like just ask the question first and then. Can I hide it? How do I hide it? I don't know.
What are you having an issue with?
Basically, on Steve's video, right, there's like titles underneath, which gives you the answer, which is I don't know how to cover it.
Use the like shape tool or something over it.
Shape tool. Oh, Kirsten's a genius. Does this do
You
it?
need to block it. You need to choose the one that has
Oh, that's perfect. Alright. Okay, we'll start with some easy ones. What's the first? Someone's got into side control. What's our first little, first little positions we wanna get into? First thing you should do when someone gets side control on you, if you can, frame and replace guard. Very nice. Okay, 1 point for Steve already. Now, if our leg gets caught in this position here, what's our little tip to get out of there? So I can't pull close guard right now. Yes, overhook the close arm. Collect this. Okay, that's this is probably your biggest trouble from the frame escape. Okay, so always remember to pick up that arm like this. All right, going to the hardest one now. See if this is gonna work. Okay. So next up, what's this position called that I'm transitioning into? Here's too quick. Alright, what's this transition? So my partner's framed me and the person brought their arm over. Ooh. It's not cross chest. -1 point, I'm afraid. It's reverse cross chest, yes. Brownie point for Vava. So the easier way to remember, reverse, the guy's facing away. Regular, he's facing towards you. And what's the escape Steve's about to do right now? Yes, I also accept judo scarf hold. That is easier to remember sometimes as well. So our primary reverse cross chest escape, yes, push the arm, fantastic. Beautiful. Very nice. Alright, neon belly. What's our approach for neon belly? Stuff the foot, fantastic. Biggest thing I forgot to mention here right now as well. Try to keep this elbow as tight as possible to your chest. Okay, don't make a little gap for the person to get an underhook. So just keep that elbow close. But yeah, you guys are right. Stuff the foot, and then go to your half guard twist chain. Cool. Okay. Let me get my box here. What is this position called? This is gonna be a hard one. Cross chest, fantastic. What's our primary goal from cross chest? The first position thing we should do as the person on the bottom. Very nice. Yes, yes. Elbow to the mat, okay? And remember on top, this is like universal for both of you. Whoever got elbow control here is winning. So get our elbow to the mat. Fantastic. Okay? And then we have our regular bump escape. But elbow to the mat is the one that's gonna save you all the time. If you ever get armbarred from here, those like heavyweight dudes that grab your wrist, push them in between your legs, it will never happen to you again if you can get that elbow to the mat. Okay? What else? If we can't get if I can't get this underhook, if I can't get this on the hook, what's our next move to try? So I've tried a frame, I couldn't frame. Backdoor, very nice. Oof, my thing's crashing. Hold on. I don't know what happened. Kiwi, help!
Huh?
I think it froze. Is this stream frozen as well?
No.
My PowerPoint's frozen. Oh, we're back. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so backdoor it. Very nice. I think this is the wrong video, but let's see. This is the underhook one. Yeah. This is the backdoor one. Very nice. You guys only got one wrong so far, which is good. Does this remember? It doesn't remember. Right, hold on. Okay. Let's go to this one. Right. I can't get my elbow to the mat. What's my next move? Can't get my elbow to the mat from cross chest. Nice. Walk backwards, and then we've got, yes, sit up, or what's your other option from there? We have two options. We can sit up, or we can leg scissors. Yes, leg scissors, the ultimate one. Boom. There's the sit up, and there's the leg scissors. Now, honestly, if you remember this chain here, I'm gonna say 80% of time, only these three here. Bump, the frame, and the leg scissors. If the person stays there, you 100% will get out, like 80% of time. If the person on top doesn't transition while you're going through this chain, it's like you're escaped, okay? But that's perfect. Leg scissors works really often. The sit up never works for me. The sit up is hard to do, but what the sit up gives you, right? So this is the beauty about this chain, right? This is why I'm telling you, if you remember this full chain, you will escape if the person stays there. So remember the chain perfectly, right? The first one was to get our elbow to the mat. We couldn't get our elbow to the mat, so we walk away to do the frame, right? So we walk away and we frame. This is where it's not working for you, Vava, right? So you walked away, you push their shoulders, but you haven't swept them. The reason why it doesn't work, right, is because they're gonna bring their legs backwards to bounce back. But what do you think's gonna happen then, right? They're gonna bounce back, or they're gonna base. They will let go of your elbow 80% of time, and then you'll be able to get your elbow back to the mat. You understand what I mean? So the reason why you went for that technique is because you didn't get your elbow to the mat. So even if the technique doesn't work, you go and you push and you can't get up, they're gonna either base with their hands or their knees, and they're gonna bounce back. And they're gonna bounce back either letting go of the elbow, or they're gonna bounce back onto their knees, which then you can shrimp escape. And it's the same for the leg scissors as well. This doesn't work half of the time sometimes as well. So you frame and you push, but they'll bounce back either to their knees and will give you regular side control, and etc. Cool? Bye bye, Elise. Take care. So if you just cycle through these techniques, they will make some sort of mistake and you'll be able to pull guard. Nice, you guys only got the cross chest position wrong, but the rest was alright. But this is the ultimate thing to remember here, mainly these three. Next time you get caught in side control, just follow the chain. Get your frames, look for underhooks if you're in side control. If you're in cross chest, elbow to the mat, bump and recover. Reverse cross chest, elbow push, or single legs. And if you remember that cycle, people are gonna hate going into your side control. And once you get even better at it, you'll be able to escape and then go into your attack chain straight away. Okay? On Friday, we're gonna look at all the control positions on top. Okay? And then you will be able to pretty much know half of almost everything about side control in terms of control, right? I haven't done any sort of like submission chain and etc. But hopefully we would be able to escape and you'll be able to hold on to someone from side control quite easily. Cool? Any questions, fire them away now. That is the end of the lesson. If you gotta go, you can go. I'll probably hang out for a bit more. If you want to join the Discord, you can. If you want to fire questions away, do so. I haven't been doing fight breakdowns recently, but I will get back to it. It's because I've been getting lots of like copyright strikes and etc. But it should go back to normal by next week or something. No problem. I also I'll upload last week's and this week's PowerPoint if you want them. I'll probably do, because it's not finished yet. This Friday's one, I'll upload it. I'll upload this one. But I'll do last week's one right now so I don't forget. Alright. Alright, if no one's got any questions, have a lovely week. I'll see you guys on Friday. Also, Kiwi, you're getting thank yous over here.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's quite hard to get her to. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be like doing pillow videos, which is not fun.
Reminds me of that Steve self-defense.
Oh my god.
Where he morphs in.
Editing skills. Alright, guys. See you all soon. Take care. Stay safe. Now, how do I send this link again?